Hello, gorgeous ones. Welcome to training number 4. We are here already, can you believe? And today's training is all about shadows and your shadow best friend forever, and why your dark side is actually an absolute gold mine. And I adore shadow work. This isn't just shadow work, this is about encompassing all parts of you. But I love this stuff. And I love working with people on this stuff as well. There's a lot of people who can be quite afraid of their shadows and afraid of the dark. And I've always joked, well, witches aren't afraid of the dark. So I will sit with you in your darkness to allow you to benefit from this work. But if you're new to this kind of concept, if you like, it is quite deep psychology, actually, when you do look into this. But if you are somebody who is trying to become a version of you, or you're focused on manifesting, you want to have everything that you desire, right? Because why wouldn't you? But you've got to stop running from your shadow. And we do this in part because of conditioning, which we've already spoken about the last couple of days. We do this because we don't want others to be uncomfortable, but also because it makes us feel uncomfortable. And it's a huge dose of self-acceptance. So what do we mean? The running away from your shadow. Do you dismiss parts of you that you hate or you really dislike, or parts of you that you hide, maybe moments that you're ashamed of? They're actually your keys. And in the academy, I've got a subconscious model that I call the 17-layer cake because cake makes everything better. But it's a method where you literally unpeel every layer of belief, trauma, shadow, shame, guilt, conditioning, all the way down to your soul self. I do this one quite a lot when we're looking at wealth and abundance. But your shadow is so powerful because your shadow holds your resilience, it holds your rage, it holds your truth, and it holds your power. And what we want to do is integrate it. Bit like Peter Pan. You remember when he was like sewing on a shadow to his shoes? We want to integrate and love the parts that you were taught to hate, because that is exactly where your life transforms. Because what you own and you take ownership of can no longer own you. And that is incredibly powerful. If you're someone who like really fears rejection, this was a huge one for me. You only ever reject yourself. So once you own that aspect in yourself, it just becomes completely irrelevant. And that's so incredible. And if you've been following me for a while or you've done any of my previous programs, you'll know that I really love using archetypes to support this kind of work, because when we have that like characterization almost, it makes it easier to understand first and foremost. It's how films, books, TV shows, that's how they portray different character aspects as well. So it makes it easier to understand because we all know what a villain would look like. But it also makes it less confrontational, because you almost then see it as a part of you that's not the you that you know and you love and you accept, but it's still there, but it's a character part of yourself, like an alter ego almost. But something that we must have an awareness of is we all have these aspects of ourselves. It's part of being a human. And everything that triggers you, everything that pisses you off, everything that grinds your gears in other people, even extreme examples, like if you ever watch like crime documentaries and things on Netflix and it makes you like feel sick and you hate the person that you're watching, it's a part of you, because otherwise you wouldn't even recognize it and you'd kind of dismiss it and you'd be like, ah, you just wouldn't be affected by it in any way. So, say for example, you see someone walking down the street and like they spit on the floor. That would get to me and I'd be like, "Oh, that's disgusting." So, that would then show me that that behavior is an aspect of myself and I have the potential for that. Doesn't mean I do it, doesn't mean I act it out, but if I wanted to, I could go and spit on the floor. I recognize it. If someone didn't even notice that, it's because it's not part of themselves and they just don't see it. And this works in other ways as well. It works in like really positive ways. So if there's someone that you admire, someone that you really look up to, and you're like, oh, I wish I had their confidence or whatever, that is also a part of you because you recognize that quality in another. So this can work on both light and dark sides. Okay. And if you look back over our previous trainings, if you're suppressing this part of you or you're suppressing these emotions or you're having a stress response in relation to a shadow aspect of yourself or in relation to a dark time in your life, you now know that these are getting in the way for you. That's now been highlighted to you. That's been brought into the light. Okay. That inner critic that you hear, that little voice that says you can't achieve something, it just wants some airtime. It just wants you to listen. That's it. And it is through giving the space, having the airtime, through listening and going to sit in the darkness, feel the feels. That's when the light comes. We don't have day without night, right? And we wouldn't even appreciate it. We wouldn't appreciate the sun if we didn't have the darkness as well. Okay. So your shadow is actually your secret superpower because it's normally within our shadows that those deepest desires actually sit. And also when you own all aspects of yourself, no one can shake you. If ever you see people and you're like, they have such a solid level of self-confidence, like they're unshakable. I'd like to think that I'm partly there, although the wedding run up shook my confidence for sure. Started to panic, feel the feels. But once you have that level of unshakable self-belief and ownership of who you are literally unstoppable. So my message for you in this training is you don't need fixing, okay? There's not a part of you that we want to just fix or take away and deny. You need integrating. That's what we're here for. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I can't wait to see your journal prompts and your insights from this one as well. And I will see you for our fifth and final training very soon. Mwah!